Hello, curious friend. Tonight, we will drift together into the vastness of space, a place of silence, a place of wonder, a place where every planet spins quietly, keeping secrets older than time. Each planet is more than just a ball of rock or gas. Each one carries mysteries, stories written in storms and craters, secrets hidden in ice, in fire, in silence, secrets that scientists are still trying to understand. And tonight, we will explore these mysteries together. Not quickly, not with rush or noise, but slowly, calmly, step by gentle step. What is a planet, really? It seems like such a simple thing, a round world, circling a star. But if you look closer, the picture is not so simple at all. Some planets are small, rocky, and dry. Others are enormous giants of gas, with no solid ground at all. Some hide oceans beneath icy shells. Some tilt and spin in strange ways, almost like they are playing a cosmic game. Some are wrapped in storms that rage for centuries. Some have rings shining like jewelry in the dark. And, beyond the familiar 8 planets we know, there may be more. Hidden worlds, dwarf planets, maybe even an undiscovered giant far beyond Neptune. So, when we ask, what is a planet? We are also asking, what mysteries lie inside it? Our solar system has been here for billions of years. The sun was born in a cloud of gas and dust. Out of that dust, the planets formed, slowly coming together little by little. Over time, they became the worlds we see now. But here is the mystery. Even after all this time, we do not fully understand them. Why does Mercury hold ice so close to the sun? Why does Venus glow with lightning inside thick clouds? Did Mars once hold life? Why does Jupiter's storm refuse to die? Why does Uranus lie on its side? Why does Neptune's wind race faster than the speed of sound? And what strange bodies wait beyond, in the frozen dark? Every answer we find leads to new questions. And those questions lead us to wonder. So tonight, let us imagine we are travelers, not in a spaceship with rushing engines and busy controls, but as quiet dreamers, floating peacefully through space. We glide past the Earth, watching the oceans shine in sunlight. We pass the moon, pale and silent, with craters like old scars. And then, slowly, we leave home behind. Ahead of us lies a path through the solar system. Along that path are the planets, each waiting with a mystery to share. We will not hurry. We will not race. We will drift from world to world, listening to their secrets. Close your eyes, if you like. Picture the darkness of space all around you. Feel the stillness, the quiet, the way time itself seems to slow down here. Stars twinkle softly in the distance. The sun glows like a golden lantern behind us. And before us, Mercury begins to appear. Small, scorched, silent, and yet holding mysteries that make scientists pause in wonder. Our journey is about to begin. We will start with the planet closest to the Sunday, a world of fire and ice, a world that should not hold water, yet does, a world of extremes. And so, with gentle curiosity, let us drift closer to Mercury and listen to its quiet secrets. Imagine for a moment you are drifting through the darkness of space. Behind you, the warm glow of the sun spreads across the black sky. It is bright, almost blinding. And ahead, you see a small grey world slowly turning in silence. This is Mercury, the first planet from the Sunday, the smallest of the main planets, and one of the strangest. Mercury lives in a world of extremes. It is so close to the Sun that during the day, its surface can become as hot as an oven, more than 400 degrees Celsius. Yet, when night falls, the heat disappears, and the temperature plunges below 170 degrees Celsius. Hot enough to melt lead by day, cold enough to freeze metal by night. How can one small planet hold both fire and ice? It is because Mercury has almost no atmosphere. On Earth, our air acts like a blanket, keeping heat from escaping too quickly. But on Mercury, there is no thick blanket of air. When the sun shines, the surface bakes. When darkness falls, the heat vanishes into space. It is a world of burning light and frozen shadows. Now, here is something even stranger. A day on Mercury, the time it takes for the planet to rotate once, lasts about 59 Earth days. But a year on Mercury, the time it takes to circle the Sun, is only 88 Earth days. This creates a strange dance. If you stood on Mercury's surface, the Sun would rise very slowly. It would climb across the sky, pause, even drift backward for a while, and then continue moving forward again. Imagine watching the Sun behave like that. Rising, stopping, reversing. Time itself would feel twisted. Here is a mystery that surprises many people. Even though Mercury is so close to the Sun, it has ice. How is this possible? At Mercury's north and south poles, there are deep craters. The Sun never reaches the bottoms of these craters. They remain in eternal shadow. And inside those shadows, spacecraft have discovered bright reflections, evidence of frozen water. Scientists believe comets or asteroids may have carried this water long ago. And because the craters are so cold and dark, the ice never melts. It waits there, silent, untouched for perhaps billions of years. A hidden treasure of frozen light, lying in the hottest neighborhood of the solar system. If you look at Mercury closely, you will see that its surface is covered in craters. Some are small, some are vast. One of the largest is the Caloris Basin, a giant scar more than 1,500 kilometers wide. It was made when an enormous asteroid smashed into Mercury long ago. The impact was so powerful that it shook the entire planet. On the other side of Mercury, strange cliffs and cracks appeared, as if the shockwave had traveled straight through. Imagine a world so small, yet struck so hard that it still carries the memory across its face. But Mercury is not only scarred, it is also shrinking. Scientists have discovered great cliffs and ridges, called lobate scarps, stretching for hundreds of kilometers. These cliffs were formed because the inside of Mercury cooled and contracted over time. As it cooled, the crust wrinkled and folded, like a grape drying into a raisin. This means Mercury is slowly becoming smaller, shrinking as it ages. Even now, the planet is not quite the same size it once was. It is a world that grows tighter and colder with each passing age. For such a small planet, Mercury also holds another surprise: a magnetic field. Most small worlds lose their magnetic fields as they cool. But Mercury's core is still partly molten, with liquid metal inside. That movement creates a magnetic shield, faint but real. This shield is strange and lopsided, not smooth like Earth's. It may protect Mercury just enough to hold on to its thin layer of gases, what scientists call an exosphere. This exosphere is not like our breathable air. It is made of tiny bits of hydrogen, helium, sodium, and other elements. It is so thin that it is almost like nothing at all, and yet it whispers that Mercury is more active and alive than we once thought. Mercury has no moons, no rings, no clouds, no oceans. It spins alone, close to the sun, wrapped in silence. Perhaps that is why it feels so mysterious. It is the smallest planet, but in its silence, it holds questions that reach far beyond its size. How much water lies hidden in its shadows? What secrets are locked in its shrinking crust? Why does it keep a magnetic heart when so many worlds cannot? Close your eyes for a moment and picture Mercury turning slowly in the sunlight. Grey craters glowing in the dawn, shadows stretching across ancient cliffs, the sun rising, pausing, drifting backward, then forward again. The silence of a world that has seen billions of years pass without a sound. Mercury whispers of extremes, of heat and cold, of fire and ice, of survival in a place where life should not be possible. And yet, Mercury is only the beginning. It is small, bare, and silent. But just beyond Mercury waits another world, a world often called Earth's twin, a world wrapped in clouds so thick they hide the surface from view, a world where storms roar, lightning flashes endlessly, and heat grows heavier than fire. If Mercury is the silent, scarred wanderer, then Venus is the hidden storm, beautiful, mysterious, and dangerous. And so, as we drift onward, let us leave Mercury in its quiet orbit and turn gently toward the bright glow of Venus. Now, imagine you are gliding past Mercury. The small grey world slowly fades behind you. Ahead, a soft golden light begins to glow. It is not the sun this time. It is another planet, larger, brighter, and wrapped in a veil of shining clouds. This is Venus, our neighbour in space, often called Earth's twin. But as you will soon see, it is a twin with a very different story. Venus is almost the same size as Earth. It has a rocky surface, mountains, valleys, volcanoes, and plains. In many ways, it is like our home, and yet, when you look closer, you realize it is a world of shadows and storms, a world that hides itself under thick clouds, a world where beauty and danger blend together. Some ancient cultures looked at Venus in the sky and called it a goddess, a bright star of the morning or evening. But beneath that beauty lies a planet that feels almost like a warning. The most striking thing about Venus is its atmosphere. It is thick. It is heavy. It is made mostly of carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid. These clouds reflect sunlight so strongly that Venus shines brighter than any other planet in our night sky. But they also trap heat. They create what scientists call a runaway greenhouse effect. On Earth, our greenhouse gases keep the planet warm enough for life. But on Venus, the effect has gone out of control. The heat cannot escape. The atmosphere acts like a heavy lid, pressing down, keeping everything inside. The result is astonishing. The surface of Venus is hotter than Mercury, even though Venus is farther from the Sunday. Temperatures reach nearly 470 degrees Celsius. that is hot enough to melt lead. And the air itself is crushing. The pressure at the surface is more than 90 times stronger than Earth's. It would feel like standing deep under the ocean. Imagine trying to stand there. The heat surrounds you like fire. The pressure squeezes like a heavy weight. And above, the clouds swirl in silence. But the clouds of Venus are not quiet. Inside them, there are storms. Bolts of lightning flash, hidden behind the veil. Winds blow with incredible speed, circling the planet in just 4 Earth days. This means the atmosphere of Venus moves far faster than the planet itself. It is as if the whole sky is racing around, while the ground turns slowly beneath. And the lightning? It is constant, but strange. Some bursts are so powerful that they light up the entire cloud deck. Others flicker softly, like whispers of fire in the mist. Scientists still do not fully understand how this lightning works. It is one of Venus's many secrets, waiting for answers. Now, think about time on Venus. A single day there, the time it takes the planet to spin, once lasts 243 Earth days. That is longer than its year, which is 225 Earth days. And there is something even stranger. Venus spins backward. On most planets, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. But on Venus, it is the opposite. Imagine standing on that surface. The sun would rise slowly, glowing through the thick clouds. It would crawl across the sky for months. Then it would sink, taking another long, slow journey. Day and night, stretched into seasons of light and shadow. Time itself feels heavy there. Beneath the clouds, Venus is not quiet. It is covered in volcanoes. Some are vast, stretching for hundreds of kilometers. Others are smaller, scattered across the plains. For a long time, scientists wondered, are these volcanoes still alive? Recent studies suggest that yes, some of them may still be active. Fresh lava may have flowed in recent times. The planet may still breathe fire beneath its veil of clouds. Imagine rivers of glowing rock sliding across a hidden land, heat rising into the heavy air, volcanoes whispering that Venus is still alive. High above, in the clouds, another mystery appears. When spacecraft looked at Venus with special instruments, they saw strange dark patches, areas that absorb light in unusual ways. What are they? Could they be chemical reactions? Dust? Something unknown? Some scientists have even wondered if tiny forms of life could float in those clouds, feeding on sunlight and chemicals. It is only a theory, but one that sparks wonder. After all, the surface may be deadly, but perhaps the skies could hold secrets of survival. Venus shines as a jewel in the sky. It glows at sunrise and sunset, guiding travelers, inspiring myths. But beneath that beauty lies a lesson. It shows us how fragile a planet can be, how quickly a world can change from Earth-like to unlivable, how the balance of air, water, and sunlight can mean the difference between life and silence. Venus is Earth's twin in size, but not in spirit. It is a world of hidden storms, a mirror that shows us both beauty and danger. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture Venus in the night sky, glowing like a diamond. Now, imagine drifting through its clouds. The winds rush around you, faster than sound. Lightning flashes in the golden mist. Below, volcanoes glow beneath the shroud. And all around, the air is heavy, pressing down like a giant hand. It is beautiful. It is terrifying. It is mysterious. And yet, as strange as Venus is, it is still familiar. It is a rocky world, with mountains and valleys shaped by fire and air. It is a world we can imagine walking upon, even if only in dreams. But beyond Venus lies another world, a planet that has captured human imagination more than any other. A planet of red deserts, whispering winds, and hints of rivers long gone. If Venus is the twin that warns us, then Mars is the neighbour that invites us. The planet that seems almost close enough to touch, almost ready to share its secrets. So, let us drift onward, leaving Venus in its golden veil and gliding softly toward the red glow of Mars. Before we drift too far outward, let us pause for a while on the planet we call home, Earth, so familiar, and yet perhaps the most mysterious world of them all. When astronauts first looked back at Earth from space, they called it the blue marble, a glowing sphere wrapped in oceans and clouds. It looked fragile, yet it held everything we know. But even though Earth is our home, it holds secrets so deep and surprising that they can feel almost unbelievable. One of the greatest mysteries lies beneath our feet. Deep inside Earth, there is a solid inner core of iron and nickel, surrounded by a swirling liquid outer core. This churning metal acts like a giant dynamo, creating Earth's magnetic field, a shield that protects us from solar radiation. But in recent years, scientists discovered something astonishing. The inner core may be slowing down compared to the rest of the planet. Some research suggests it even stops and reverses direction on a cycle lasting decades. Why it does this, and what it means for Earth's future, is still unknown. Above the core lies the mantle, a sea of rock so hot it flows slowly like honey. From this layer, heat rises to the surface, driving earthquakes, volcanoes, and drifting continents. But in 2019, researchers found giant hidden structures in the mantle, larger than continents, sitting near the core. These blobs are thousands of kilometers wide, denser than surrounding rock, and no one knows exactly what they are. Some think they may be remnants of an ancient world that collided with Earth billions of years ago. If true, it means part of another planet still lives inside ours. Now let us look at Earth's oceans. They cover more than 70% of the surface, yet more than 80% remains unexplored. We know less about the deep sea than we do about the surface of Mars, and the ocean keeps surprising us. In 2022, scientists discovered a hidden world of strange creatures in the deep Pacific, thriving around hydrothermal vents. Some of these life forms are so unusual, they seem almost alien. Worms with no mouths or stomachs, bacteria that eat hydrogen and sulfur instead of food. They remind us that life can exist in places once thought impossible. And perhaps even more amazing, in 2023, researchers confirmed that Earth's ocean water is still leaking deep into the mantle through subduction zones. This means part of the ocean literally disappears into the planet and may cycle back out through volcanoes. The sea and the Earth's interior are connected in ways we are only beginning to understand. The atmosphere above us also hides wonders. Earth's sky glows with sprites and elves, brief red flashes of lightning that dance high above storms. They were first captured on camera only a few decades ago. For centuries, pilots and observers reported seeing them, but scientists dismissed them as illusions. Now, we know they are real, a reminder that even familiar storms hold secrets above the clouds. And even stranger, Earth hums. In 1998, scientists discovered a mysterious low-frequency sound coming from the planet itself. It is not caused by earthquakes, and it happens constantly, like a background heartbeat of the Earth. We cannot hear it with our ears, but sensitive instruments can record it. The exact cause is still debated. Some think it comes from waves in the ocean, others from vibrations deep in the crust. But the hum continues, as if the planet is softly singing to itself. And then there are the amazing wonders that make life possible. Earth orbits in just the right zone for liquid water. Its tilt and spin create seasons that nurture life. Its magnetic field shields us. Its large moon stabilizes our rotation. Any small difference, a slightly larger orbit, a weaker magnetic field, a missing moon, and Earth might not be habitable at all. It makes our world feel like a rare and delicate gift. So, when we think of Earth, we must not see it as ordinary. It is a planet of mysteries, a humming world with a shifting core, oceans that vanish into the deep mantle, storms that spark red lightning in the upper sky, and life that began from unknown origins. Earth is not just our home. It is the strangest, most beautiful mystery we know. And as we drift outward, toward Mars and beyond, we carry Earth with us. Its oceans, its forests, its questions, and its gentle reminder that even the most familiar world is full of the unknown. Now, imagine Venus fading behind us. Its golden clouds grow smaller, swallowed by distance. We drift onward into the quiet dark. Ahead, a faint red glow begins to shine. Soft, mysterious, it looks almost like a tiny ember in the night. This is Mars, the red planet, the world that has captured human imagination for centuries. A desert of dust and stone, but also a place of mystery. A place that feels almost like home, and yet so different. Why is Mars red? The answer is simple, yet beautiful. Its surface is covered with iron-rich dust. When that iron reacts with the thin air, it rusts, just like old metal on Earth. The entire planet is painted with this rusted dust, giving it its soft, reddish glow. Imagine holding a handful of red sand. Now, picture an entire planet covered in it, from its tallest mountains to its deepest valleys. That is Mars, a world bathed in rust-colored light. Mars is only about half the size of Earth. Its gravity is weaker, just 1/3 of what you feel at home. If you stood there, you would weigh far less than you do now. A step would feel lighter. A jump could carry you higher. Even walking might feel like floating. But Mars is also cold. On most days, the temperature is far below freezing. Sometimes, in the summer near the equator, it can rise a little above zero. But for the most part, Mars is a frozen desert. Its air is thin, made mostly of carbon dioxide. It is not air we can breathe. It is an atmosphere that lets heat slip away, leaving the planet dry and cold. Mars may be small, but it holds some of the greatest landmarks in the solar system. There is Olympus Mons, the largest volcano we know, of 3 times taller than Mount Everest and as wide as the entire state of Arizona. It is so vast that if you stood on one side, the curve of the planet would hide the other. There is also Valles Marineris, a canyon system so deep and long that it dwarfs the Grand Canyon on Earth. It stretches more than 4,000 kilometers, as if the surface of Mars had cracked open like old pottery. Imagine standing at the edge of such a canyon, red cliffs dropping down for miles, shadows stretching into the distance, silence so deep that you could hear your own heartbeat echoing in your suit. Mars may be small, but it carries landscapes grander than almost anywhere else. Mars is also a planet of dust. Fine grains cover its surface, and sometimes the wind rises, carrying that dust into storms. Some storms are small, spinning like tiny whirlwinds. But others grow larger, so large they can cover the entire planet. A global dust storm can last for weeks or even months. The sun dims, the ground disappears beneath the haze, and the whole world becomes a red blur. Imagine standing there, watching the sky darken with dust, feeling the wind push against you, hearing the soft hiss of grains brushing against your helmet. It would feel like standing in the middle of a dream of sand, silence, and endless motion. For years, scientists wondered, did Mars once hold water? The answer, we now know, is yes. Dry riverbeds curve across its deserts. Valleys, shaped by flowing water, mark the surface. Minerals formed in water lie scattered across the ground. Billions of years ago, Mars had rivers, lakes, maybe even oceans. It was a world not so different from early Earth, and perhaps it held life. Even today, hints of water remain. Ice lies hidden beneath the soil. At the poles, caps of frozen carbon dioxide and water shine in the sunlight. And from time to time, dark streaks appear on slopes, as if salty water trickles down in the summer. The water is thin, fragile, almost gone, but it whispers of what once was, and it invites us to wonder, could life have survived there? There is another mystery in the air of Mars. From time to time, instruments detect methane gas. On Earth, methane can come from simple forms of life. It can also come from chemical reactions deep underground. But on Mars, we do not yet know. Where does it come from? Why does it appear and then fade again? Could it be a sign of something living, perhaps tiny microbes, hidden in the soil? No one can say for certain. It is a puzzle that keeps scientists searching, and it keeps our imaginations alive. Unlike most planets, Mars is one we have explored closely. Spacecraft have orbited it. Rovers have rolled across its deserts. We have seen its sunset soft blue at the horizon. We have listened to the whisper of its wind. Rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance carry cameras, drills, and even microphones. They study rocks. They search for signs of water and life. They test the soil, preparing for the day when humans may walk there themselves. Mars feels close, not just in distance, but in spirit. It is the planet we dream of visiting, the planet that makes us wonder if life beyond Earth is not just possible, but maybe already written in its dust. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself standing on Mars. The sky above you is tinted pink, with a faint glow of blue at sunset. The ground beneath your feet is red and dusty, stretching to the horizon. In the distance, A volcano rises higher than any mountain you have ever seen. The air is thin, almost silent, and around you, the planet waits quiet, ancient, mysterious. You feel both far from home and strangely close to it. Mars is a planet of questions. Did it once hold life? Does it still? Could it one day be a new home for us? It is a world of deserts and silence, but also a world of hope. And yet, beyond Mars lie worlds even stranger. Not small deserts of dust, but giants so large they could swallow hundreds of Earths. Worlds wrapped in storms that never end. Worlds of moons, rings, and mysteries beyond imagination. As Mars fades into the distance, a massive planet begins to appear, swirled with clouds, lit by lightning, marked by a storm that has raged for centuries. This is Jupiter, the endless giant. Imagine floating farther from the sun, beyond the warm, rocky worlds. The brightness fades, the cold grows deeper, and then suddenly you see it. A planet so enormous, so overwhelming, that it dominates everything around it. This is Jupiter, the king of the planets. A world so large that more than 1,300 Earths could fit inside. Its gravity is so powerful, it shapes the entire solar system. At first glance, Jupiter looks like a swirling painting. Bands of colour wrap around it: orange, white, brown, and red. Storms dance across its surface. The most famous is the Great Red Spot, a storm so huge that it could swallow Earth whole. This storm has been raging for centuries, perhaps even longer. Imagine standing on a floating platform above Jupiter's clouds. You would look out and see an endless sky of moving waves, storms rolling like oceans, lightning flashing deep below. It would feel alive, yet also endless. But here is the first mystery. Jupiter has no solid surface. On Earth, you can stand on the ground. On Mars or Mercury, you can walk on rocks. But Jupiter is made almost entirely of gas and liquid. If you tried to land, you would simply sink deeper and deeper into crushing pressure. Scientists believe that somewhere far below, deep inside, Jupiter may hide a small rocky core, but no probe has ever reached it. The pressure is too strong, the heat is too intense. It is like trying to dive into an ocean with no bottom. And yet, even without a solid surface, Jupiter is full of power. It has the strongest magnetic field of any planet in our solar system. This invisible shield stretches millions of kilometers into space. It traps charged particles, creating radiation so strong it could destroy spacecraft electronics in minutes. Why is Jupiter's magnetism so extreme? Scientists think it comes from metallic hydrogen swirling in its depths. Hydrogen, under so much pressure, acts like a liquid metal, creating a giant dynamo that powers the field. This means Jupiter is not only the biggest planet, it is also one of the most dangerous. But Jupiter also plays a gentle role. Its enormous gravity protects us. Think of all the asteroids and comets drifting through the solar system. Many of them are pulled toward Jupiter. Its gravity captures them, throws them into new paths, or even swallows them. Some scientists believe that without Jupiter, Earth might have been hit far more often by deadly impacts. In a way, this giant planet is like a shield, quietly guarding us. Now let us turn our gaze toward the moons of Jupiter. There are at least 95 moons orbiting this giant. Each one is a world of its own. The four largest are called the Galilean moons. discovered by Galileo in 1610. Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. Io is a volcanic world, covered in lava lakes and eruptions. Europa is a smooth, icy moon, hiding a deep ocean beneath its frozen shell. Ganymede is the largest moon in the solar system, even bigger than Mercury. And Callisto, covered in craters, is like a frozen memory of the solar system's past. Among them, Europa is the most mysterious. Beneath its ice, scientists believe there is a global ocean, kept warm by tidal forces. If water and warmth are there, could life exist too? It is one of the great questions of astronomy. Could something swim in the dark seas of Europa? Even Jupiter's storms hide puzzles. The Great Red Spot, though shrinking in size, still endures. How can a storm survive for centuries, when storms on Earth last days or weeks at most? The winds inside it blow faster than any hurricane on Earth, yet somehow the storm refuses to fade. And then there are other storms, white ovals, brown swirls, and powerful jet streams. It is as if Jupiter is not a planet, but a world-sized weather machine. But perhaps the most awe-inspiring thought is this. Jupiter radiates more heat than it receives from the Sunday. It shines with its own energy, as if it is still glowing from its birth. Some scientists even believe that if Jupiter had been just a little more massive, it could have become a star. Our solar system might then have had two suns, a bright one and a dim red companion. Imagine the sky of Earth under two suns. The shadows would split. The nights would never be fully dark. But because Jupiter fell short, it became a planet instead of a star. Now, as we drift away from the endless giant, a new world awaits. It is a world of beauty and wonder, wrapped in golden rings, shining like a jewel in the darkness. Saturn is calling. Far beyond Jupiter, deeper into the cold, a pale golden light appears. At first, it looks like just another planet. But as you move closer, something extraordinary comes into view. A world surrounded by shining rings, delicate and bright, like cosmic jewelry. This is Saturn, the most graceful of all the planets. A giant of gas, like Jupiter, but dressed in a crown of light. The first time humans saw Saturn's rings through telescopes, they could hardly believe their eyes. At first, some thought the rings were giant moons, or strange handles attached to the planet. Only later did we understand. They are made of countless pieces of ice and rock. Some are tiny, like grains of sand. Others are as large as mountains. Together, they spread out across hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Yet most of them are only about 10 meters thick, thin as paper compared to their size. Imagine standing close to them. You would see floating ice, shining like glass, circling Saturn in endless patterns. The rings would stretch farther than your eyes could see, glowing softly in the sunlight. But here is a mystery. The rings of Saturn are bright and young. They may only be 100 million years old, or even less. That sounds like a long time, but compared to Saturn's age over 4 billion years, it is short. So, where did they come from? Some scientists believe they are the remains of a moon that broke apart. Others think they may be the leftovers of comets, torn apart by Saturn's gravity. And here is another strange thought. The rings may not last forever. They could be slowly disappearing, pulled into Saturn's atmosphere. Someday, far in the future, Saturn may lose its rings, becoming a plain giant once again. But Saturn is not just about beauty. it is also about size and power. Like Jupiter, Saturn has no solid surface. It is mostly hydrogen and helium, swirling endlessly. Deep inside, pressures rise so high that hydrogen turns into a liquid metal. Saturn's winds are among the fastest in the solar system, reaching 1,800 kilometers per hour. Storms rage across its clouds, some lasting for years. One of the most mysterious is the hexagon at Saturn's North Pole. Yes, a storm shaped like a perfect six-sided figure. Winds circle around, forming this giant geometric shape in the atmosphere. It is so large that Earth could fit inside it. And yet, no one fully understands how it stays so perfectly formed. Now, let us look at Saturn's family of moons. There are more than 140 moons discovered so far, each one unique. The most famous is Titan. Bigger than Mercury, Titan is wrapped in a thick orange haze. If you stood on its surface, you would see lakes and rivers, not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane. It rains there, but the rain is not water. It is methane, falling softly, carving valleys and filling seas. And beneath Titan's icy crust, scientists believe there may be an ocean of liquid water. If so, Titan could be one of the best places in the solar system to search for life. Another moon, Enceladus, is even more surprising. It is small and icy, only about 500 kilometers across. But from cracks in its surface, giant plumes of water vapor shoot into space, like geysers. These plumes tell us there is a salty ocean beneath its ice, warmed by the pull of Saturn's gravity. Think of it an ocean world, hidden beneath ice, spraying pieces of itself into space for us to study. When spacecraft flew through the plumes, they detected organic molecules, ingredients for life. Could something swim in Enceladus's hidden sea? We do not yet know. But the question fills us with wonder. Even Saturn's smaller moons tell stories. Mimas looks like the Death Star from science fiction, with a giant crater covering one side. Iapetus is half dark, half bright, like two worlds joined together. Each moon is a mystery, a reminder that even tiny places can hold secrets. And so, Saturn is more than a ringed jewel. It is a world of storms, a family of strange moons, and a reminder that beauty in space can also hold deep mysteries. As we drift away, the golden rings fade into the distance. But in the dark ahead, another giant waits. Colder, stranger, a world tilted on its side, rolling through space in a way unlike any other. Uranus is calling. Beyond Uranus, deeper into the cold, lies the edge of the giant worlds. Here, sunlight is weak and faint, like a faraway candle. And yet, in this distant place, a deep sapphire light shines against the dark. This is Neptune, the most distant planet of them all, a world of fierce winds, hidden heat, and storms larger than Earth itself. At first glance, Neptune looks calm, just a round, deep blue orb. But looks can be deceiving. Beneath its surface lies some of the wildest weather in the solar system. Winds race at speeds of 2,100 kilometers per hour, the fastest of any planet. That is faster than the speed of sound in air. Imagine clouds rushing across the horizon, faster than a jet plane, faster than anything we could ever feel on Earth. Why does Neptune have such extreme winds? Scientists believe the answer lies in its hidden heat. Even though it is so far from the Sun, Neptune radiates more heat than it receives. Somehow, deep inside, it still glows with energy, driving the storms above. One of the most famous storms is the Great Dark Spot, first seen in 1989. It looked like a dark hole in Neptune's clouds, almost the twin of Jupiter's Great Red Spot. But when scientists looked again, years later, the spot was gone, vanished into the winds. And then new dark spots appeared elsewhere. It is as if Neptune's storms are alive, forming and dissolving without warning. Neptune, like Uranus, is an ice giant. It is made mostly of hydrogen, helium, water, methane, and ammonia. Its blue color comes from methane gas, which absorbs red light and reflects blue. But scientists think there may be something else in its clouds, something not yet known, that deepens its rich color. Imagine drifting through Neptune's atmosphere. You would see layers of clouds, white methane ice crystals above, deeper hazes below. Lightning would flash in the distance, faint but sharp against the blue. And all around, the winds would roar endlessly, never tiring. Neptune also has rings, though they are faint and dark. They circle the planet like thin brushstrokes, broken into arcs instead of smooth bands. How do the rings stay clumped in places, rather than spreading out? That is another puzzle scientists are still trying to solve. And then there is Triton, the largest moon of Neptune. A world so strange, it feels like it should belong somewhere else. Triton orbits backward, opposite the direction Neptune spins. No other large moon does this. Scientists believe Triton was once a dwarf planet, captured long ago from the outer solar system. On Triton's icy surface, geysers of nitrogen gas erupt, shooting plumes high into space. It is a frozen world, yet active, still reshaping itself. Beneath its crust, there may even be an ocean. If so, it would be one of the coldest, strangest places where life might exist. Neptune reminds us of something important. Even at the farthest reaches, where sunlight is weak, planets are not silent. They breathe, they storm, they move with hidden energy. And yet, Neptune is not the end of the story. Beyond it lies the Kuiper Belt, a region filled with icy worlds and dwarf planets. It is a frontier of mystery, where Pluto and other small bodies drift in the dark. Our journey through the planets is nearly complete, but there is still one more stop. A world once called the ninth planet, now known as something else entirely. Pluto is waiting in the shadows. Far, far away, on the edge of our solar system, a small world waits in silence. It is a world that has been loved, debated, and reimagined many times. It is not bright like Jupiter. It does not wear rings like Saturn. It is not blue and stormy like Neptune. Instead, it glows faintly, a tiny lantern in the darkness. This is Pluto. For nearly a century, Pluto was called the ninth planet. It was discovered in 1930 by a young astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh, who patiently searched the skies for months, comparing photographs of the stars. On one winter night, he noticed a faint speck of light that moved slowly, not like a star, but like a world in motion. That moving speck was Pluto. When the news spread, the world celebrated. Children memorized its name. Pluto became a symbol of discovery, of the idea that even in the cold edges of space, there are hidden treasures waiting to be found. But Pluto's story did not stop there. In 2006, astronomers gathered to decide what makes a planet a planet. They chose to place Pluto in a new category, a dwarf planet. To some, this felt like a loss. To others, it was a gift, because Pluto was not erased. Pluto was given a new identity, one that revealed how many more worlds might wait beyond. Imagine standing on Pluto now. The air is so thin you would need a spacesuit to survive. But if you looked up at the sky, you would see the sun shining like a bright star, so far away that its warmth barely reaches you. The ground beneath your feet would crunch with frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide, forming plains of ice so wide they stretch to the horizon. In the dim light, towering mountains rise. But these are not made of stone. They are made of water ice, hard as granite in the freezing cold. Some climb higher than the Rockies on Earth, standing as ancient guardians in this frozen wilderness. And then there is Pluto's heart, a vast, pale plain shaped like a heart, stretching across the surface. This is Sputnik Planitia, a region of nitrogen ice that moves slowly, flowing like a glacier, reshaping the surface over time. Even in such a frozen land, Pluto is not still. It breathes in its own way. Each time, its thin atmosphere freezes and falls as snow, Pluto changes. Ice shifts, winds stir, and faint fogs rise above the plains. In the silence, the planet is alive with slow motion. But perhaps the most fascinating thought is this. Pluto may hide an ocean beneath its icy shell. Deep down, under mountains of ice, there could be a layer of liquid water, kept warm by heat inside the planet. If such an ocean exists, it might hold the building blocks of life. Not life as we know it, perhaps, but something new, something waiting. The idea that a tiny frozen world on the edge of the solar system could hold an ocean in its heart is one of the most beautiful mysteries of all. And Pluto does not travel alone. It has a companion, Charon. Charon is so large compared to Pluto that together they almost seem like twins. They orbit a point in space between them, locked in a gentle dance that never ends. From Pluto, Charon would look enormous in the sky, rising like a vast grey lantern. From Charon, Pluto would shine with its reddish glow, a constant companion across the darkness. Some scientists think Pluto and Charon once collided long ago, their dance born from a violent beginning. But now their orbit is peaceful, as if time has healed the wounds of their creation. Pluto also has other moons, small, irregular companions with names like Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx. They are tiny, tumbling through space in strange paths, like shards of ice caught in Pluto's pull. Imagine drifting among them, the faint light of the sun glinting off their surfaces, while Pluto and Charon glow in the distance. It feels like a secret kingdom, hidden in the farthest reaches of space. Pluto's mysteries grew even deeper in 2015, when NASA's New Horizons spacecraft arrived after a 9-year journey. For the first time, humans saw Pluto up close. The pictures showed mountains, glaciers, valleys and plains, more detailed and beautiful than anyone expected. Instead of a dead rock, Pluto revealed itself as a living world, filled with wonders we had only dreamed of. New Horizons flew past, sending back images and data for months. And then, as quickly as it had come, it drifted onward, deeper into the Kuiper Belt. But the memory of its visit remains, like a postcard from the edge of the solar system. And yet, for every mystery New Horizons solved, it left many more unanswered. Why does Pluto's surface look so young in some places, almost as if it has been renewed? What shapes the strange, dark markings along its equator? Could there really be a hidden ocean below the ice? And how many other Plutos are out there, waiting in the Kuiper Belt for us to discover them? Let us pause and imagine the silence of standing on Pluto. The stars above shine brighter than ever because there is almost no atmosphere to block them. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a river of light. Charon hovers nearby, a silent giant in the darkness. The faint glow of the sun, so far away, reminds you that you are standing on the frontier, the very edge of our known world. It feels lonely, it feels fragile, and yet it feels beautiful. And perhaps the greatest mystery of Pluto is not just what it is, but what it represents. Pluto is proof that even the smallest worlds, in the coldest, darkest corners of space, can surprise us with mountains, glaciers, and maybe even oceans. It whispers a quiet truth, that the universe is full of secrets, waiting patiently for us to find them. Now let your thoughts drift outward. Beyond Pluto lies the Kuiper Belt, filled with other icy bodies. Eris, Haumea, Makemake, and countless smaller worlds. Each one holds its own story, its own frozen mystery. And further still, beyond the Kuiper Belt, lies the vast Oort cloud, a sphere of icy fragments surrounding our solar system, a place we have never seen, but which may one day send comets tumbling toward the Sunday. So as we leave Pluto behind, we are not leaving an ending. We are opening a door to the infinite, to a darkness that stretches beyond imagination. Take a slow breath and imagine stepping back. Step back so far that the solar system becomes like a single painting. The sun glows in the center, its light reaching outward, and around it, the planets move in quiet rhythm, each one following its path, each one keeping its place in a cosmic dance. There is Mercury, swift and small, racing closest to the Sunday. It reminds us of the power of heat and of the fragile balance that allows worlds to exist at all. There is Venus, shining like a jewel in the twilight sky, yet hiding storms so fierce that no human could survive. It teaches us that beauty can be both inviting and dangerous. There is Earth, our home, the blue planet where oceans breathe and forests grow. It is not just a planet, but a living world, a place where life took root against all odds. And then comes Mars, the red desert, silent but full of questions. Did it once hold rivers and lakes? Could it have supported life? Mars reminds us that even in silence, there may be stories waiting to be uncovered. Further still is Jupiter, the endless giant, pulling comets and asteroids with its mighty gravity. It acts as a shield, a protector of the inner worlds. Yet it is also a mystery, with storms older than all of human history. Saturn follows, its rings like a halo of light. It shows us that nature can create beauty on the largest scales. Its moons whisper secrets too, oceans hidden under ice, volcanoes that spray water into the sky, and then Uranus, the tilted world, rolling through space on its side. It reminds us that the universe does not follow only one pattern. There are always surprises, always new shapes to the cosmic story. Neptune, deep, blue and stormy, moves with quiet strength in the darkness. It holds winds faster than any on Earth, and moons that move in strange ways, as if to remind us that even in the farthest reaches, mystery continues. And finally, Pluto, small, icy, distant, but not forgotten. It shows us that size does not decide importance. Even the tiniest worlds can change the way we see the universe. When you listen to all of these worlds together, they feel like notes in a grand piece of music. Each one is different. Each one adds its own tone, its own mystery. But together, they create harmony, a solar system in balance, moving quietly through the dark. The orbits, the gravity, the relationships between these planets, all of them work together like threads in a vast tapestry. Without Jupiter's pull, Earth might face more deadly impacts. Without Earth's balance with the Moon, our days and tides would be different. Without the small outer worlds, we would never be reminded of the beauty of the hidden and the overlooked. And yet, for all we have learned, we know so little. Every discovery opens a new question. Every answer reveals another mystery. The planets remind us of our place in the cosmos. We are small, we are fragile, but we are curious. And that curiosity connects us to the stars. So, as you rest now, let your mind hold this image. The solar system drifting through space, the planets moving in harmony, each one a note, each one a mystery. And you, here, a listener, a dreamer, part of this great song of the universe. And so, our journey through the planets comes to a gentle pause. We have drifted from the smallest rocks near the sun to the wide, majestic gas giants, and finally to the icy edges where Pluto rests in the dark. Each world has whispered something to us. Mercury showed us silence and extremes. Venus glowed with secrets beneath her clouds. Earth revealed hidden puzzles in the place we call home. Mars shared the question of ancient life. Jupiter taught us of storms without end. Saturn displayed rings like frozen music. Uranus and Neptune swirled with strange winds and colours. And Pluto reminded us that even tiny, forgotten places can hold wonder. When you put them all together, they form a kind of harmony, a family of worlds, each different yet connected, each one shaping the solar system in its own quiet way. Imagine now the solar system as a great cosmic garden. Every planet is like a flower, some bright, some hidden, some fragile, some wild. And we, tiny travellers on Earth, get to wander through this garden with our minds, asking questions, dreaming, listening. Even with all our science, we still know so little. Each answer we find only opens another mystery. And perhaps that is the greatest wonder of all. As you rest now, let your thoughts drift like a small ship on a quiet sea. The planets are out there tonight, circling the sun in silence. And the same stars that shine over them shine gently over you. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let the mysteries of the cosmos wrap around you like a soft blanket. The journey never truly ends. It only continues in dreams, where new worlds are waiting to be discovered. Good night.